What's going on? My name is Austin Zabak and welcome to another YouTube video. And in this video, we're going to talk about how you can prepare for the next 2020 potential recession. So being a business owner, an entrepreneur, and really just a tax-paying citizen of the United States, you need to at least have a basic understanding of the economy and the way that the market works. Now, at a very basic level, the market booms and it busts. You basically have a bear market and you have a bull market. Now, that should make a lot of sense to you. You probably remember the recession back in 2008 when the mailmen and the escorts were getting $500,000 mortgages, right? I mean, what a time to be alive. Probably not, because at the end of the day, you and I really paid for it. But hey, I guess at the end of the day, that is the circle of economics. The average length of a growing economy is 38.7 months or 3.2 years. The average recession lasts for 17.5 months or 1.5 years. A full business cycle on average is 4.7 years. Now, all this to pretty much say the recession clock is ticking. It is not really a matter of if, rather a matter of when. All right, but fear not, going into recession is not always a bad thing. As a matter of fact, if you play your cards right, it can actually be a really good thing, and a lot of people make a ton of money in a recession. Now, I personally always make it a point to prepare for a recession and to come out on top in a recession, right? At the end of the day, if the market's gonna go down, I'm gonna take advantage of the down market. I'm gonna buy stuff and I'm gonna wait for it to appreciate over time and make money, right? The old saying goes, buy low and sell high. Signs are showing that a recession is around the corner, and several economists are predicting it will likely happen in 2020. So I wanted to give you guys some strategies to make sure you're prepared too. I'm confident that the tips that I give you today, you're not only going to be prepared for the next recession, but you're going to thrive in the next recession. And whether you make a couple $1,000s or a couple $100,000 or even a couple of $1 million, at the end of the day, you at least are not going to go down. You're either at least going to stay the same or you're going to go up in terms of your financials in your own life. Now, one thing to remember is that most people act on fear, right? When the market's going down and we're entering into a recession or even a depression, a lot of people, they look around and they base their decisions off of emotions, and most of the emotion being fear. And the reality of it is that people that take advantage of a market like that are not basing anything off of fear, nothing off of emotion, and a lot of it on gut instinct or fact or just statistics. All right, number one is to create an emergency fund. Now, I know you're like, Austin, I literally have evidence of you saying to not have an emergency fund, right? To invest all of your money, to go out there and to make your money work for you. I have $500 right here. As you can see, that is $500, okay? I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna put it right here, okay? So you can see it, right? Right on top of the books. Now, just stay with me here, okay? Because again, we've all been taught growing up, right? I know that I was taught, my parents and my grandparents and all the generations before me told me, hey, Austin, save, 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 save. But they never told me what I was saving for, right? They just told me to save because, again, a penny earned is a penny saved, right? But why? What is the point of it? Let's just see if the money will actually do anything, okay? Just stay with me. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that money is basically no good, right? Until you do something with it. But for the purpose of this video, I want you to actually take a step back and to create an emergency fund. Now, an emergency fund is much different than a savings account, right? It's an emergency fund, hence the emergency part, okay? So you're gonna literally stack the cash for the emergency fund. Now, you're not just saving money to save, right? You're not putting money in your piggy bank and, a penny saved is a penny earned, okay? I'm not talking about any of that junk. I'm talking about a very specific reason, a very specific goal, a specific deadline and a timeline where you have an X amount of dollars, right? A very specific amount of cash that you're stacking, that you're saving. It's for the sole reason of an emergency fund. Layoffs are fairly common during a recession, right? These big corporations, these big companies, they tend to lay off people when the market starts going down. And if that happens to be you, and I hope that it is not you, But again, we want to prepare for things like this. And if it does happen to you, I want to make sure that you have enough money to live off of so you're not acting on fear, you're not acting on emotion. You can rather go get another job, get a side hustle, get a side income. So ultimately you can come out on top like a lot of the other people that are very strategic and smart with their money in the recession. A fairly good rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months of livable income in an emergency fund. Now, obviously, it's going to look different with everybody, and depending on your income, depending on your expenses, it might be a little bit more and it might be a little bit less. But again, a good rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. Livable income, right? So whatever it costs you to live. Now, this doesn't mean, what it costs to go out and see movies or go to a nice steak dinner, 3 or 4 nights a week, right? What it does mean is that whatever it costs you to actually live, right, to survive, you have 3 to 6 months of that income saved away in what you would call an emergency fund. So I challenge you to go ahead and start building that emergency fund right now, right? Pause the video, take a second, write down what your livable income is, and go ahead and start to save that money, right? Even if it's a little bit at a time, it is going to make a big difference in case something bad happens to you. Number 2 is to pay off all high interest debt. Now, what do I mean by that? I want you to pay off everything that you pay a high interest amount on. Credit cards and things of that nature are typically the highest interest debt that you can incur. That debt expense category in your budget might not be available, right? The expense category where you're paying off the high income debt or the high interest debt, you're paying off your car loan, right? You're paying off, those Yeezys that you put on a credit card or whatever it is, that might not be available if you have to actually leverage the emergency fund, right? If a recession hits and bam, we want to make sure that you get out in front of that. If you're paying 10, 15, 20% interest on some of this stuff, which by the way, you might be, okay, you want to make sure that that's paid off right now and not in 6 or 12 or 18 months from now. The goal really here is to make sure that if something bad were to happen, you're only paying what you have to pay, right? Your mortgage, your car payment, your insurance, gas in your car, food to survive. You don't want to be paying for a bunch of junk that you don't have to be paying for if, again, you're living off of an income that isn't that good, right? Because at the end of the day, you've got to invest money, right? You've got to invest money to make money. You've got to buy low and sell high in order to take advantage of a recession. And if you're spending all your money on dumb, stupid stuff, maybe decisions that you made a year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years ago, at the end of the day, you're going to be just like everybody else, and you're not going to be able to take advantage of a recession. Limit the amount of things that are not necessary, right? Now, I'm sure you can think of a few, like Netflix, Yeezys, your Xbox subscription. What do you spend that's extremely dumb or not relevant when it comes to actually living life, right? It doesn't help you live life. You don't need it to live life, right? What are those things? And maybe you're going out night on the town all the time, right? And you're just doing dumb stuff. You're partying, whatever that is, limit that, right? Cut back on that. Save your money in an emergency fund. Pay off high interest debt. And you are going to be much better off when the recession or the disaster comes your way. All right, you paid off the debt. Okay, you've cut totally back on your spending. You're not going out to the club anymore. You're not doing anything dumb, right? You've done everything right this far. Now what? Here's the bottom line. You've got to invest. Number 3 is to invest your money. Now, what in the world are you going to invest in? Now, there's a lot of things that you can invest in, and I can personally say that back in the day, in the recession, there's people that were literally buying properties for 50 cents or less on the dollar. Now, I know people that just by buying a couple of properties and holding on to them for the right amount of time, they made hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, depending on how much property they actually bought. Just, again, think about it. If done properly, right, you buy low, you sell high. You've heard the saying, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Well, this is why, because they're taking advantage of down markets. I mean, go all the way back. Doesn't matter whether you like these people or not. Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, okay? These people, for decades, have been taking advantage of recessions. Just remember, you're not investing with a short-term mindset here. Mindset is everything. You know that the market eventually is going to go back up, right? So even if you're buying on a down market like this, and you buy, eventually the market's going to go back up, and you're going to make money on all of those investments. So again, you can't let your emotions get in the way here. You need to understand that mindset is everything, right? You need to follow people who have what you want and study people that have been doing this time and time and time again. Take that money that you saved in an emergency fund and pay your bills, right? Cut back on your bills so you have extra disposable income, and then ultimately invest that into things that are going to make you more money. Maybe it's real estate. Maybe it's a stock, maybe it's a bond, right? I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be for you, and there's 1,000 different investments that you can make. But again, you make your money in the buy, right? Most people don't make their money in the sell. They make their money in the buy because they bought it right. Meaning, if they just hold on to it long enough, they have enough patience, they wait for the market to go back up, they will eventually make their money, right? But a lot of people, they act on emotion, they act on fear, they sell too early, they buy too high, and ultimately, they never make money, they never take advantage of a recession, and ultimately, they never become wealthy. Remember, at the end of the day, you want your money to work for you. You don't want to work for your money, right? So many people spend their entire life working for their money, and that's okay in the beginning. And in the beginning, you've got to work for your money, right? You've got to trade time for money. Okay, sure. But eventually, you want to take some of that extra money and you want to put the money to work. Now, of course, you're going to go keep putting in the time to earn more money. You're not just going to go sit on a beach when a recession hits and drink a mojito, okay? No, you're going to keep trading your time for money to live on, but you're going to take the extra money that you have, that disposable money that you have, and you're going to put it to work. Guys, I want you to literally wrap your brain around this and to take advantage of it, just like myself and many other people are going to. As always, make sure you work very hard. Follow these simple steps, right? Again, network with people. Find somebody that has what you want and study them, right? Find Warren Buffett. Look at guys like that. Read articles about them, right? Read articles about these different people and watch what they've done. Don't take it from me. Take it from other people. There's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people that have done this for decades. So find somebody that has what you want and mirror them. Do exactly what they do. And I promise you, you will eventually live the life that they live. Even if you lived a fraction of the life that they live, you'd be much better off than if you didn't try at all. I hope you got a ton from this video. Drop in the comment section down below what you'd like to see in a future video, and I'd love to make it for you. As always, thanks so much for watching. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.